What a solid team.
Adia, what a solid team. Antimi Anyano, Atobaya, Wabeye. Adia, what a solid team. Antimi Anyano. Sammy Gyemfi, any good board, Ebaya, Wabeye. Adia, NPP, Antimi Anyano. President John Dramani Mahama, Ebaya, Wabeye.
At the economic management team, it is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akotose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alain Chiremanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team? I'm sure they themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was.
Sir, a few days back, a minority in parliament led by Kojo Oppong meeting the press, a press conference here. Now all cited a losses a gold board and a Bank of Ghana, which was around $214 million. Now, Chairman General Asiedu Nketia atu Nsembi amane NPP amanyoko, specifically Kojo Oppong, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and afensu one water propaganda. Say good board has made losses.
You can engage in all the propaganda you want, but if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
Your fact, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Ankasa Nanum Ensema, Yabetime Jinaso, Akase, and then the fundamentals is not weak. The exchange rate has not exposed President John Dramani Mahama at often, and then affairs, the NDC administration. Adia Baumia, and what a solid team, Antimi Anyano, Atobaya, Wabeye. Adia NPP, Antimi Anyano, President John Dramani Mahama, Ebaya, Wabeye. Adia the economic management team, under NPP, Antimi Anyano, Sammy Gyemfi, BOG, and Afenson Gold Board, Ebaya, or more Abeye. Na, say, Yena Ebekaya. Few days back, NPP Ebeye press conference na Omoka say gold board are making a losses of about 214 million Ghana cedis. Yeah, at trending on social media. Yeah, ubia trenasre ene abasa. Chairman General Asiedu Nketia atu Nsembi amane Kojo Oppong, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ene afenso NPP party do as a whole. Na Nsembe ena otomane NPP on omo press conference omo release a few days back no. Yebekwa kotie ensema Chairman General Asiedu Nketia atu amane NPP on their press conference omo debetodra in few days back. Na answer na
nanka mempese mekasa if you say na otwi mu mananti akosire mu akokasa antinka ne de anka metwe me ho kakra na asem ba ko pe ana de me abegina ha masamo ne se afi ba ko a atwamu yi obia ebo aban abaso say yatimi atra oman mu atra aban mu afimu a na yenya scandal bia enunti omo kasa no eyeye nuanum bia enti omo akosha ase scandal or no scandal omo the scandal ebeba abetu aban no so. And say, Yanka Binshemu, Yada sorry, I say, Bank of Ghana, ni gold board. Omo aboka $214 million. In TNT bida. Sammy Gyemfi resign, governor resign. And I'm saying, dear Ben Pa na ekosu wo man mu governor the deal betra akonwa so a wotai kase ada wani so de se wo bebo yesika no ho ban yesika no emudro sika no a na do se aye hata wodin bia ni mu no ene yanya governor yanya president ya enhihye pa ye de agu akwan mu no obia di ho adanse ese yesika no afedie emu ayeduru emfie ngotwe a NPP ni Dr. Baumia yade kun ya se ye bechi dollar atu prison yade safo ama IGP ni adin a wo mo ntimi anye eze Mahama ene ni governor ena mi nua kuma Sammy Gyemfi wo mo de afi baako aye de mpanimfo ebeye emfia ngotwe a wo mo ntimi na wanya bibia amma wasia utwa ho kobon kro no anu nti abusuafo yan dia yenim se adwuma na empanimfo mienu eye no ne ya no omo aya manaburu sokra ifrise obi bia obuman bia ni mu se the first security threat Emma oman bia economy ene ni currency ayo befa so abo ni sika ho ban a za sika no entofom yetia yeye ta ade ayaya ni ehuna no afedie yehuna no ebeji oman na $60 baako a enenam 17 cedis ni achire enam $60 baako a enenam between 10 and 11 cedis anipa wo mo ko school wo mo ansua economics no niema ebinum wo ho a wo mo nte ase efrise se usika ahwodin ba mu a niema ade boa onie niema boa ekosoro wo manum basabasa nyina no etu betwa mo aso mudi ho adanse ese afi ba ko atwa mu yi niema bebre so wo hokora no a ne bo eso ate na wo a wote so a niema bo ekosoro na de waba niema bo ekofom wo si ya kan se accountability no ebetwa ba bia nti de onye bone de oye papa no kura no yemfa accountability se kan kotwa no lai yenuanom somebody say inflation above from aba single digit bosumi bebre a ebisi ye ache wo man mu niema bo ekosoro ba fom a bosia okwa akobo no bank say ye wa na okope bosia ana say adwuma bi na epe bosia ede atre adwuma num na wanya mfaso afa nipa adwuma mu no obroni frɛ bi cost of credit ni nyina ɛdɛn ɛba fam ɛba saa ɛna ɔman no etimi cost we free sɛ so obi tintim ni mfiri dwuma wɔ abrochire no ɔbɛnya bosia a ɛho nsi ho yɛ less than 10%. na wo so wo pɛsɛ ɔyɛ nneɛma ɛkɔtɔn wo ne kosi akan na wo ubosi a woje no ehun si hu be 30% ya wo ya professor ni kura untimi ene no enkosi akan de beba ne se unyuma ewo umamu no ebegu na obi ya ne de a wabeton ama eno pa ho a emfidi a yakra fra brochire ede betintim emfiri dwuma any input so ya kradi fra brochire ebe boama ya industries no koso no ni nyina cd awode aba mu no ni nyina ne bo ayeden aba fom enu free ho a omai mu na omusi ya deka ya yare nkade ye ntimi ntua eka ema haircut num ne ade num nyina ba mu sidi no nko ahode a aba mu nti no ene osisi ya ka no ewo dollar mu na oda ne ba sidi mu a ewo fom enu nti na wiase nyina san adigidie ama ya economy no se ejira ne na so akufu ado breso na okope bosia kra ye maw ene ebi presa ye maji bosia yaso ya se ya ho ode e wo ha no ya de be ye wie na ansumu a ansa na ye be kwa akope obi bosia beso so a yakope bia beso ade ba kunso a se inflation ba fomu a etimi buama oman no diye ene adansie ene adan atoto abrochire wamo abogafo a wamo akotena ho no obia nkoboabo asika no so okosi dan o amanfo bi wo ho a womusi a no akotua entoase kakra bi na fe ya ma dan no wadam na ogusu a utuatua ka enu so obeko pension na wanya ufi a utimu omaimu President Rollins breso ya shebi ase home finance bisa won se eyeden na eduru ba bi a eguye efri se na niam bo kwa ekosoro ntentem inflation rate no ukoji bosia now the sidan by the time obesi dan na wie na ebo a odi beto so obetimi ate uka no obi anika na ha obetimi atuaka se utiri ye kura na ye de sada no efriu na utua no nkakra so mi bia obekwa akotua bi no balance ye wo ho no na sa akosoro chai sade na wonya ntua bi no enti e basa na chese enye remunerative kura se ubekwa ko free dan se utua ka if we say utua payment time no eye infinity ebre bia ni wa obetime atua sa aka na wie ebasa wo muso a esisi adan ni aton bia ma ya nyamu ada no wo muso ye mfa esika nkom enti de eche ni se ye currency ya timi asomu ye na hoden abam na enam eno so ama inflation so aba fomu a bosia ya bono eno so ninsi ho aba fom efriwa na chese adwadie bia wudi bia no edani kwamu se emfaso ebetimi aba wadwadie no womu a yesi dan aton no womu si na womu ton a womu nya mfaso emranti a muso munya muntimi emoabo amusika no nkosi dan no se mo kwa akoto dan a obi asi a utimi bu hu akonta ehunu se edan we emfie du na emfie du mienu betimi atua aka awie enu ntiema bebre wo ho a se utika no ahodin bam na inflation no so ba famu a etimi bua o wadwuma efu aka tua kura no sa afeso na akatua ntumu no ankosoro kura no a esense niema bo eba fam enti no akatua nipa no je no dada no okojo mu a eto niema more than said de nanka niema bo okosoro na usu ututu akatua mu ekosoro enu nti abusuafo se governor eni Sammy Gyemfi enam wo mu adwuma yeso na oman enya sa mfasuyi na yesi wo mu disika $214 million ɛna ɛde ayɛ a saa benefit nyinaa ɛba economy no mu a monka nkyerɛ atiafoɔ no sɛ yɛdeɛ yɛpɛ no saa yɛdeɛ yɛpɛ no saa ɛnyɛ sika a obi ayi adi ɛyɛ sika a mfasoɔ bebrebe yɛ a meka ho asɛm yi sɛ yɛde saa sika yi ɛna ɛde akɔgye aba na ɔman yi ahotɔ aba mu na yɛ sika sɛm ahyɛ ase a ɛtotɔ yi a yɛdeɛ yɛpɛ no saa nti mɛgyina party nanan mu abɔ governor aba so na mabɔ Sammy Gyemfi so aba so sɛ wɔn mu biara yɛ bɔne a yɛnkata ne so na mmom yɛnya hu sɛ wɔn mu ayɛ bɔne na wɔn mu adwuma ɛkɔ animu na ɔman no di ho mfasoɔ no deɛ party no yɛtaa wɔn mu akyi obiara ɔpɛ nhwehwɛmu bi ayɛ no yɛn encourage wɔn mo sɛ nhwehwɛmu bi a wɔ hɔ biara wɔn mo kɔ gyina anim na wɔn mo a ɛbɔ kɔ adu no koraa nka sɛ wɔn mo bi adi sika ɛsi wɔn mo di sika no ɛde adi dwuma bi saa dwuma no a wɔn mo de adi no ɛho mfaso a aba no yɛpɛ nti wɔn mo nkɔ so na wɔn mo nyɛ no saa yɛda mo nyinaa ase yɛma obi biara afinhyia pa afe nkɔ na afe mmra na afe sisɛ ne yakɔ yɛ anim asene sei afe sisɛ yɛbɔ mpaeɛ sɛ na sidi no asɛn gyina ɛkyɛn sɛ deɛ tie yi afe sisɛ na nneɛma boa ɛkɔ soro na ɛso asan ahwan na ɛba saa obiara adwuma bɛkɔ so adwadifoɔ adwuma bɛkɔ so emfirikafoɔ adwuma bɛkɔ so na yɛne a adwumayɛfoɔ so a ɛgye akatua so no yɛso yɛbɔtɔ mu bɛyɛ duru ɛno nti yɛda mo ase nyame nhyira obi biara
Wene ensema Chairman General Asiedu Nketia ato amane the minority Kojo Oppong Kroma NPP amanyuku no ene afenso no wana wo through propaganda say gold board am make $240 million loss. Yeah, they were linking it to BOG. Now Chairman General Asiedu Nketia said the country no. And as a President John Dramani Mahama and Sammy Gyemfi has led the country so well so that in this period of 1 year, there is no scandal. And whether scandal or no scandal, no, the NPP and as the critics of NDC will try to put things together just to paint the party black. So they will get an upper hand in future elections. Now, at their solid team, no, Antimi Anya, no, Sammy Gyemfi, Gold Board, ene affairs, no, atoforsen, ebaya, omo abeye. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia some time back, HSA. Dr. Akoto Osei, ene affairs no Afriye Akoto, Alan Kojo Chairman Tem, Boache Ejako Keno Foriata, ene affairs no Senior Minister Yao Osofo Mafo, ene Onwankasa Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. They are creme de la creme in terms of economics. Anything amoba ababe save the Ghana city. To send here the previous president, and Dankwa Akufo-Addo Ekasa city no aye hata. Anything Okofa Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and the economic management team say Omra now menyade. Almost stable Asiedu. Name on for 8 solid years. Omo ntimi an achieve ASR stability. They claim say Omo aloki CD no e the key no ama IGP. But within that 8 years no, now the CD was around 16, 17. Name in this previous month President John Dramani Mahama with the help of Gold Board and the offense no fiscal discipline no Omo ntimi achieve a massive economic improvement. Ama the minority fear and panic said they will not have anything to talk against the previous government and as this government in their future elections. Anything they are trying to put things together to blackmail this government. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, some time back, Eka said if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Okay, and to young compare the exchange rate now to the exchange rate 1 year ago. 1 year ago, now the exchange rate it was sort of saying what we have now. And it clearly shows that the fundamentals now is not weak. There is something extraordinary President John Dramani Mahama at force any offense to the gold board the previous administration Antimi Anye and they deserve commendation. Now Chairman General Asiedu Nketia NSM eba the first female vice president of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajema, and so Ebe Kasai. Now my person will become on the Yakoti and Sema or the two.
In this kind of position, sometimes, as we used to say in school, it is difficult to division yourself into twice. Because sometimes the 2 or 3 activities are equally important, and it's very, very difficult to make a choice. So we understand that. And I believe that when I go back to tell him that it was a spectacular performance today, I would have been telling the truth, wouldn't I? I salute everybody and all the people who marched past, especially the children among them. My special salutations to them. Thank you. Thanks to all the organizers for making today even more special. I also commend all the speakers who have come before me. So much they have said. So much truth they have shared with us. And I know that we've heard them all. And as time goes on, even from today, we'll abide by them. The first point I want to make is that, yes, we are a young country, but our history goes much, much further back. And I want us to be very, very mindful of that. The people of Ghana say, isn't that the case? That we've come from far away. And a very important comedian who has passed said, we came from far away. Either way, they are pointing us to a certain path in the past. And I'm using this to let us all know that there's so much we have survived. And we have survived that based on certain principles. And those principles still persist and they are still valid. Those principles have shaped our history as we have come along, including what we are celebrating today. The very important fact of holding ourselves together, of saying no to the wrong things and forging ahead with the values that matter. And today we are remembering 44 years. There are many we know. There's one thing that also used to occupy J.J. Rawlings, and that was the people whose names may have perished, but who were part of the forward march. He never forgot. And that was why he was always interested in pushing others forward and not himself. That is one lesson I want all of us to learn. I don't want to speak for too long. So it calls into our memory the role of the unknown soldier. What motivated those people? I believe it's because there was a cause they believed in, and they were willing to sacrifice everything. What motivated them? It was what was good for the majority. And what was that? It was about the values that would push our country forward. And what are some of them? We all know. We use the words. And I want to urge that sometimes we pause and think about what they connote. Accountability, openness, caring, respecting, regardless. Working not only for ourselves, but more for others. Regardless what we are doing, whether it's private business, we are teaching, we are healing, we are interacting to put others first. So the question is, what are we doing to keep that focus, to advance our country, to ensure that the original sacrifices others made, so that we are here today, that those sacrifices remain valid? What is our role? What is our charge today? I heard them poetry. Some didn't even have the privilege of spending time with their own children. I can't imagine a sacrifice more than that. They did all of that. And as I said, our history goes further back. Many people have brought us here. Today we are here. What are we doing with that privilege? What one good thing are we doing to help one person? Now we are at the cusp of a new year. Yes, we will count our blessings, but we will also be very mindful of our weaknesses and balance the two. It has been a difficult year, we know, but we have also been, let me say that God has been gracious, and I'm not just using words. We have been through a very, very difficult time. But yes, we have survived, and we will survive it even further going ahead. The quality of our depends on you and me. All the things that we do, regardless where we are. Whether we have appointment or we are not, or we don't. Our activities affect others. Let us ensure that they are affecting others in positive ways and not in ways that inure only to us. We are, you know what, New Year begins tomorrow, doesn't it? How are we entering this new year? I'm not going to ask about resolutions. We hope for a better year. A better year doesn't announce itself because it's going to be a better year. We can make it a better year. And I know that we will. But we don't plan to do that. Yes. Thank you very much. And going forward, let us all be mindful. We have an agenda to prosecute. We have a country to build. And everybody is part of it. And I've said it again and again, regardless where we are, regardless the role to play. Everybody has a role to play. Let us stay the course. Let us avoid unhelpful distractions. Let us put the country forward and put Ghana first. All other things will be added unto us. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you very much.